Hi guys, welcome back to Not Another Budget. I'm Nicole, and on this channel I'm attempting to cash budget my way out of debt and fix several years of financial misbehaviour. And if that is something you're interested in following along with, please do stick around and do the whole like and subscribe thing. I'm sorry, it's been a month. Thank you to everyone who's reached out going, I hope you're okay. Thank you to everyone who's been waiting for a video, and I know you have been because you've been telling me. Basically, I got into a really bad mood in January and it kind of lasted the whole month. And you know, when you're like irrationally annoyed at everything and everyone and every little bit of whatever out there? Yeah, that was me. So that's not fair for anyone to have to deal with. And I was just so annoyed that there was no way like I could stop it coming across. So I just thought, right, just quietly budget, sort out your shizzle, get over the funk that January seemed to have brought me, and like, just, yeah, you can fill everyone in later, it's fine. So I will be doing an overall budgeting recap of January as a whole. I'll probably have to break that down into probably 2 or 3 videos, which is why I'm just going to start with what's going on in February first of all, so that you can see my February budget. I am on some annual leave, so I've got kind of a long weekend. So I'm just going to kind of do some filming today. So those will be released over the next few days. But thank you all for reaching out. I'm okay. I'm completely fine. Like, nothing happened. I just got into a really, really, really foul mood. And I just felt that it wasn't fair to put that out there. You know, I believe what you put out into the world does come back to you, and I just thought I don't really want to get on camera and be a moody cow, to be honest, when you guys, you lovely lot, have done absolutely nothing to deserve being on the receiving end of me just being in a bad mood. So I will fill you in on what's happened with January, but like later, like in the next ish video, but for now let's just move to February. And I'm so glad it is February. I cannot tell you. A shorter month, a non-5-week month. Okay, let's go first of all to the monthly planner, just to give you an overview of what is going on. If you can hear the cat having zoomies in the background, he is absolutely on one this morning, and my washing machine is also going, so, and I also think I might need to sneeze, so there is a little bit of background stuff going on, but hopefully I can just talk loud enough that you guys can kind of work with it. So this is what February is looking like. So it's running from the 26th to the 26th, so that makes my brain feel really happy. I've got 2 periods of eating out coming up first of all. I have already eaten out. I'm filming this today. I've got 1 period here, and then I've got another period there. That was booked in after I did my budget. It's a work-related eating out, so I don't know if it's going to be covered or not. So yeah, we'll see. You'll see when I actually take you through my monthly budget well, yeah. I've got paid from wage 2 already, so I got paid slightly more than what I'd budgeted for, which is my smaller Sunday retail job. I'm on annual leave here, so I will get paid 6 hours of pay, and I'm also on annual leave tomorrow, which is the Monday and the Tuesday. And on the Tuesday, I get paid from wage 1, which is my main job, and I don't actually find out what I'm due to get paid until here. So I have gone with a guesstimate in the hope that my tax situation has sorted itself out. I am in extreme doubt that it has, but I've submitted everything that I need to submit. My self-assessment is done from when I was previously self-employed for the tax year just gone. So I've done everything I can, and it may just be a case of timings. I don't know. I've got a business call here which I need to be aware of, so I'm having to leave the office slightly earlier, and then I am actually also going through to a city, I'm not going to say which one, on the Saturday. So that is something, again, that was all discussed after I'd finalised my budget and I'd got everything else to work, and I was like, oh, fine, okay. I don't yet know if I'm going to do a very long drive and just leave early because I'll have petrol in my car, or whether I just catch a train as I have a rail card. It will be whatever is cheapest. My normal Sunday shifts, which are 9:30 to 4, are all scheduled in. My standard days off are the Saturday, and I'm trying to keep those as a day off. So I'm trying to keep those as a day where, like, for example, I didn't go to town, which is like my closest market town. I didn't go to town yesterday. I just did the eating out with the coffee friend, because we didn't actually go for coffee in January apart from twice. So we did an eating out instead. So yeah, I'm trying to keep my Saturdays as days where I don't do any housework. I try and do something like a walk, which I've not been able to do yet, or I go to a city, or I go to a town, or I just try and do something to decompress. And then at the minute, my evenings are very chock full with like housework and admin and commuting, and so that has really eaten into my filming time as well. And then at the end of the month, on the 13th and on the 20th, I've got my mum's birthday and my dad's birthday. So that thankfully is, I've got one more gift left to get for dad. In terms of my monthly goals, I've got to restart freelancing. Now, this is something I'd like to do, but I've question marked it because based on the recent communications I've had, that may not be feasible now until March, because it turns out their really low season is now. Which, okay. I'd like to do a hike. It's not something I managed to get done in January at all, and it's something that is on my list of things that I want to reintroduce into my life, so let's try and get that done. And I need to diversify my Vinted and how I'm doing it. At the minute, I've got things like clothing new with tags and books and all sorts of odds and random things, but what I also have, which did sell relatively well because they were already complete, was completed product from when I'd ran my business, things like seconds and stuff that I was able to sell at cost value, and they sold quite quickly. And I've already got things that are cut, so the fabric has been used. Once you tend to cut fabric, there is no going back, so they're cut and they're ready. They just need me to make them up, and we're approaching the season where the people who would want to buy these things are going to be looking to buy, but that is obviously a time element on my side, and I know I've got things that are cut, but I don't know what they are. But again, that feeds into the actual to-do list. So the to-do list feeds into the monthly goals. So we've got to I'd like to make up the pre-cut items if I can, list the shirts and the shoes, and I've been putting off the shirts. I've spent most of January steaming said 100 shirts, and it's not quite 100, it's more like 93, but it feels like 100, and the shoes, and getting them paired and cleaned and polished, and mud scraped off the soles and things like that, because they have been worn. They're completely fine, but they've been worn for like a day on a film in a muddy field, and then I just need to batch cook for the whole month, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in that in a second. Now I'm just going to have a quick sip of my coffee in my Dumbledore mug today. I'm hoping I can actually just get this edited and out today. Now, partly why I was in a mood in January was because I'd kind of got myself into a pickle with how I was doing my budget, because I was trying to hybridize what I was doing before, which was weekly budgeting, without having a regular weekly income, because that was obviously no longer the case, and then getting really frustrated with myself when I couldn't make it work and feeling like I was restricting myself. Now, there was no restrictions that anyone had put on me. This was all just of my own making. So what I've decided to do this month is basically do a full monthly budget and an overall set of monthly goals. What I'm then going to do each week is make a note of, this came out this week, this came out this week, this was what I spent on food, or this was what I spent here. If my weekly budget for petrol is £50, for example, for work, when you've seen me in other videos do kind of the weekly breakdown of, I think my food's going to be this, and I think coffee's going to be this, and I think the cat's going to be this, and I think the house is going to be this. Try and incorporate that later on, but basically not double budget myself, which is what I got into a pickle doing in January, and it made reconciling very hard, and it made me feel like at times I didn't have the cash to do what I wanted to do, even though I did. It just wasn't where I wanted it to be. And rather than just fix that mistake myself or sort that out myself, I got very annoyed. So in terms of my overall income, this week is running from the 26th of January to the month is running from the 26th of January to the 26th of Feb. My overall goal is to batch cook, upload to Vinted, and get walks in. Now, batch cooking, one thing that actually really worked really well in January was I pretty much batch cooked for about 3 weeks worth of lunches and dinners. And I never got the whole take your leftovers to work thing for your lunch, and now I do. So that has really upped the ante. However, I didn't really plan to do that very well in January, so that impacted what I was spending on food and where. So as a result, that has changed how I'm spending on food this month. So batch cooking and uploading to Vinted. So in terms of wage two, I was expecting £250. I've actually gotten paid £261.90. Wage two, I'm expecting £2,000. And then other income, which is things like surveys, Vinted, freelancing, although I doubt the freelancing, any other source of like market research or anything like that. I'm now going to set myself a monthly target that I want to exceed, because I didn't do that in January. And therefore I didn't really put a lot of effort in to trying to get that other income in at all. So I want to go for £300. I'd like to exceed it, but £300 is the minimum that I would like to achieve, bringing me a total anticipated monthly income of £2,550. Now, these are in no particular order. They're not in order of greatest to largest, etc. It's just as and when I've written them down. So I have rent of £850, council tax of £182, mobile is £28, BT is £38. I've still not sorted that out. Shout at me in the comments. Spotify is £9.99, water is £22. My energy, if they've actually lowered it, they've applied some form of something, and I can't quite work out where. So it has gone down to £107.31, which I'm going to take this month, because I don't know again if that's going to be accurate. My car insurance is £70, my AA is £9.50, my pet insurance is £8, my pet plan has gone up, that was £10, it's now £12.50. My overall subscriptions at the minute for this month are £38.50. 2 of them are under review for a rolling basis. That's the Now TV package, because me actually just staying home and catching up on TVs and films that I liked was a good thing in January. And at the minute I'm also working on my next kind of budget binder, so I am paying for Canva again for this month. But that did result in my spending for January being down overall in terms of feeling bored and wanting to go out and spend. And then this is the big one. My debt minimums this month are £380. That is the 2 standard monthly ones, which are £10. There is now another one, which is another £10 one, because I got some rather uncomfortable letters, and I just thought, right, let's just, what is the lowest I can pay just to calm them down? So that's another £10 a month. And then I want to make a payment to the guarantor of £350. I'm going to do that when this wage comes in, regardless of what it is, because I am getting this one like kickstarted and going. They've already like had a small payment from the end of January, because I'm not operating on a monthly rollover basis. Whatever I have left, I will either decide, if I have anything left at the month, it will either go to savings or it will either go to debt, and I want to get this one started. I have things that I want to do this year that rely on most of my debt being gone. So at the minute, that is a total monthly payout of £1,755.80. Leaving me a leftover of £794.20. That is obviously if I bring in the other income, and that is the variable here. Now, my fuel is £300 for the month at the minute. My food is £230. Now, what I'm going to do is basically do a month's food shop in one go. Well, I say one go, across two trips. I've done a partial one already so that I'm actually able to start batch cooking, because obviously I have had my wage in. So I've done a partial food shop to get everything that are like my raw ingredients, so meat that was on offer, like veg, etc., milk just generally for the start of the week and things like that. Pizza, because what I'm going to do is every Friday is going to be a pizza night for me at home, so I've bought 4 pizzas, so it will fight the urge to like want to go out and have like it just a Friday night. It's bringing like Friday nights back in. I'm going to start batch cooking. There is something in the slow cooker already, and then I will actually see where I'm at, have the ingredients that I've got, are they enough? Can I carry on? What do I then need to get? And then when I get paid from wage 2, I will then do a final shopping list, go and get everything else that I need for the month, and I will also leave a nominal amount of £10 a week for week 2, 3 and 4, and that will just cover things like milk, although I am going to get UHT milk, so that shouldn't be the case, but that's only if I run out and use more than I think, fruit, etc. and stuff like that. So 230 is a guesstimate because I don't actually know what a full month's food shop done in one go, with the perspective of batch cooking and basically covering, like, you know, the pizza at the end of a week and stuff like that. Like, what does that look like? So I'm hoping this is going to be less, but at the minute I don't know. The house is going to have to be a little bit more this month because I broke my Aera. I now have no Aera. The last time I bought an Aera, it was like 10 years ago, and it was a tenner. And the cheapest one I found at the minute is £17.50. And it's also that month where I need to buy loo roll and toothpaste and shampoo and conditioner and feminine products and razors and all of those things that just kind of every 2 to 3 months just pop up and add to a shop. That is this month. So house is 50. Again, I'm anticipating, I hope, a slightly smaller spend. The cat is 50, which is a fairly standard amount. Eating out is 25. Now, I do have, obviously, my little self-care savings. What I'm probably going to do is pull whatever the extra is that I pay out from self-care and put that back into the budget, because obviously if work cover the meal, which I don't think they will, then fantastic. If not, I will use the £25 for the eating out fund to cover the meal with work, and then what I've spent with my friend I will take out of my self-care fund and use that for that. Coffee is down as 40. Now, the Costa gift cards did work well-ish. The only problem was when I went to get a coffee from a place that did not have a Costa. So I will not be putting the full £40 onto gift cards. I will probably put £20 of it onto a gift card, keep £20 back in change, try and prioritise obviously drinking where I have the Costa gift cards, and then, you know, hopefully go less. I've got a £25 budget for gifts. Now, I do have £10 in my gift sinking fund already, so we'll see what I end up spending from there, but I can take that money from there as well. And then I have an overall spending for myself of £100. Now, that I did this budget before, obviously I realised that I'd gotten paid a little bit more than I thought from wage number 2. So the anticipated spend is £820. That is if everything clocks in on this. Now, I will aim to go under budget as much as possible, but again, I'm tweaking how I'm doing things. I want to make sure that I feel like I have got enough money, i.e. all of the cash in my hand for my fuel, my food, my house, my cat, everything like that. I want to feel like that's done and I've got that. And then obviously any change, anything I don't spend, I can pay back into the bank. I'm just trying to like tweak how I'm doing things. So at the minute, that's a minus of £25.80. However, it's not £25.80 because I've already been paid £11.90 more than I've expected. And I will be taking money from my self-care fund once I know how much I need to take from that, and also from my gifts fund. So at the minute, we're showing 80. However, on a week-by-week basis, I'll then show you what is being taken from where. So no anticipated savings, although I will be using change. Say hi. Every Sunday I will be doing a small video which is just me going through and doing the 50p, the 20p and the penny savings challenge. The self-care savings challenge, which is the £1 roundup, is on hold again still because that I think is going to accrue really, really quickly if I try to. And at the minute there is no anticipated extra debt. I've incorporated it all into my month. So yeah, it's looking like... spoiler alert, I'm well on my way to reaching this. Vinted, you know, people have held on to their money in January. It's been a 5-week month that they've just been paid for. Vinted is doing really well this weekend for me, so I already know that I've got money that is pending to clear in, that I dispatched out last week, and it is just waiting. So I'm fairly confident that I will hit this target. I'm striving to hit and exceed this target. In terms of the wages, there's very little that I can do about that. I will have to work with what I have and find out, you know, what I get paid. The frustrating thing is that, you know, I don't know, and I have to do this budget beforehand. So let's keep everything crossed for 2000, and, you know, if I get emergency taxed again, I get emergency taxed again. There's very little that I can do. I've spoken to everyone that I need to speak to. So it's just hoping that things have gotten resolved in time. But that is my February budget. It's going to be a really, really strange month. Like I said, I've got birthdays, I've got a full working week. Like it's a month where I'm pretty much at work without annual leave. Then the next 2 days don't really count. And I've got a couple more social things going on than I would have normally. So I don't certainly anticipate anything else socially going on until the end of March, which is my birthday, which makes sense. So the only difference is going to be obviously making sure that I give myself permission to use my small sinking funds, like my self-care fund and obviously the gift fund, because I've not really done that before. I've not really had to bring sinking funds back into my budget because it's not been a thing that I've done. So yes, so we will see how we do. Next week I will give you an overview of how this has gone. You will see the actual weekly breakdown of what bills have come out and what I have spent overall. Now, in terms of what videos are coming up, because I need to get back to regularly uploading, and I also need to really just get a schedule in place overall, because that just really derailed in January completely. In terms of what videos I've got coming up, we've got obviously my January breakdown and my January catch up. That will either be spread across 2 or 3. It depends how long it's going to take. We've got my little sinking fund, kind of colouring in my savings challenges for all my change. And then I've got something that I'm still trying to work out and edit because it's not going how I want to do, which I'm not going to say too much more on, because if I can't get it to work, then it's not going to get uploaded. But yeah, that is the February budget. I am so glad to be back with you all. I'm sorry that I was away for so long, so thank you for bearing with me. I am now going to love you and leave you and go ahead and get this filmed. So I will see you in the next video, and don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Bye-bye.